even though LP was the one piloting that last game and they felt like, you know, I feel like the Sivir answer was pretty solid. I guess they just want to take that one away and maybe have a little more proactivity in the, you know, engage department from the bottom side of the map. But LNG just respond full on solo lane, pick up the Ryze for Scout, pick up Zika's Renekton, which, you know, sure, he had a couple of funsy moments, we'll say, on the side lane, but he was still really, really powering through Cube on the top side in the early phases against that Ksante. And I feel like it's just one of those things where they're very happy to just lean on that Renekton in the side lane in the mid game.
And again, look, picks like Ryze for Scout's a big one as well. We're talking about comfort here for LNG so far. We're on the other side. We get an Ashe support from Southwind, so huge engage potential out of the 2v2 with range to boot. On top of the 5 for Leyan, so we get some setup. Now, Jamada, as we're flying through these pick and bans, I think the fact that we've seen a priority jungle ban or two from RA has left LNG in a comfortable place where, as you were saying, well, if you're not going to pick up the maokai, we will just do it. And that's just great with the lanes you've got in the solo areas. So perfect for Tarzan.
Yeah, definitely is. I was actually pondering the idea of maybe a Wukong angle here for Tarzan, just simply because you've got 2 immobile AD carries in the bot lane. And right now, RA would kind of have to go out of left field to try and draft to play Peel for all of that dive. But LNG go towards the maokai option, of course, the more staple pick in the meta at the moment. And is still going to do everything that we know maokai will do. Loads of damage. Interesting Cassio ban, I guess, of course, because they have the Ryze. It is the old school counter and they just don't want to see Strive on it. Just anticipating that one. So I wonder what the second ban away will be. Something like Syndra wouldn't be too bad here. It does pretty well into the Ryze, especially in the early phases. And when you've got Vi, you know, having 2 point-and-click death buttons in the mid-jungle lane is going to feel pretty obnoxious to deal with. So I feel like that could be a pretty good takeaway here for LNG. And then RA likely just looking to try and strip away whatever power they feel like necessary out of the LNG bot lane.
Yeah, again, that support pool still there as Karma was the first to go. Sion for Cube. I mean, this really tells me about Cube. You know, he's a Sion player, he's a Jax player. You've taken away a lot of comfort for this guy. You might have to resort to things like the Aatrox. You know, that's fallen out of fruition a little bit here. We've seen in the meta. But I'm curious to see what the response is in the top side. Well, now the bottom lane gets to show its head. And LP's thinking, man, do I want to climb? Do I want to lose it or gain it? But Draven here would put a bit of tempo into LNG's game.
It would be an audacious pick, but I wouldn't mind it. I feel like something a little more stable. Jhin could be okay. You've got a lot of range, like slow-moving range engage with the Maokai element, so stacking the current call on top of that can feel very, very obnoxious, especially when you're working with 2 immobile carries from the bottom side already in the Ashe and the Varus. And if, you know, Strive and Cube pick things that can't really deal with that ranged engage, all of that, you know, hard CC into burst damage, then there's a lot of high value to work with here. So I think going back towards the Ksante makes a lot of sense. I think in this game, we'll have a lot more value in trying to actually shut down or honestly just get onto the backline compared to last game where Cube, in theory, was kind of relegated to trying to peel Scout's Kassadin off the backline. And at this point, Ari can kind of go in whatever direction they want to. I think a lot of strong ultimates to steal away in the Silas if they wanted to do that. The Kassadin angle isn't too bad either, trying to throw it back in their face.
But it's hard. I mean, the problem is, though, laning phase, we've talked about a lot of pros coming on, mentioning the Ryze being hard to deal with, usually a ban away. So Strive is taking a bit of a risk here. Well, now we have to see if Hung wants to pull up a support. I was half expecting maybe the Jhin comes through and we get a bit of carrier movement here. It was talked about in the interview before that Hung has been playing around with 80 carries in a support role, much like everyone else at the moment. But this could be more traditional. This could be more like the game one. Give the engage that they want to follow up on. And so, Jamada, I've got to ask you a little bit about damage here because this time around, you know, we kind of rely on Scout yet again, but we do have damage sources that will, I guess, you know, continue to fall off a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. You know, the Renekton, definitely the one that you will attribute to sort of falling off in the damage department. Always will be that big meat shield that will soak up a lot of damage and heal a lot of it back up. I think for LP on the Jhin always it's always hard to scale Jhin before you see how he does in a game, because in theory, he should scale fine in most scenarios as long as there's not too much frontline to deal with. In this game, I feel like LP might end up being relegated to kind of just current call duty just because of the way that his composition was.
Single game. RA have a chance here to disrupt that flow, being 2-1 themselves. And as we jump onto the Rift, we find out if RA can be a pain in their side. And Southwind, the volley's like, hey, bro, I kind of know you're there. Halo of Arrows flash. Oh, no! The Zenith blade flying through. I don't care that nothing happened. I like this guy a lot.
Yeah, I'm also kind of surprised. LP's Deadly Flourish, I'm pretty sure it hit Southwind, so I'm not sure why it didn't root it, to be honest with you. But hey, they get the flash out of Southwind, so maybe there's something to punish there on the bottom side. Maybe a level 3 can come in from Tarzan, right? Top side clear, straight into the bottom lane and try and get LP and Hung moving, because they are dealing with, you know, double range AD carry. Level 1, level 2, level 3 is going to feel really, really rough for the LNG bottom lane just because of the range disparity. So perhaps Tarzan can do something to try and disrupt that flow of play.
Jamada, he said it, man. I'm just realizing now. Why did Deadly Flourish not root?
Why did it not root it?
What?
Right?
You said it, and I was like, hang on a minute, yeah.
It hit him, right? Because the thing is, Sssum was full HP, so the ability clearly didn't hit him.
Okay, well, anyway, that's rough. He'll now use. LP has to flash as well, and all of a sudden, I'm just feeling like, what? I don't know, man. I'm tilted for them.
Yeah, I just don't understand. And now,
I guess,
of course,
Jamada, my brain is working.
Okay.
I reckon, I'm pretty sure if you don't have Deadly Flourish leveled at the time of damage being calculated, you don't get the root.
Oh, yes.
So,
because
as a Jhin connoisseur, as someone who likes the fast, I'm now I feel like I've had this happen to me before. If you don't have it leveled, it's not going to get the root down.
Yeah, you know, it's actually really funny you say that, because I used to play a lot of Kayn back in the day, and that's exactly how the ultimate works as well. If you don't have the ultimate skilled up, even if you've applied damage before you hit 6 and level it, you can't actually use the damage you've already applied to ult. So I think that's a bug they eventually fixed. But yeah, that's probably why LP's Deadly Flourish didn't end up rooting. That's really unlucky, to be entirely honest.
Yep. And
LNG,
look, off the back of it as well, you know, the summoners being down, LP, we saw flash in the lane. Hung burned his in that earlier engage. Now Southwind has burned both his summoners for Jamada. Bringing back to the point, the poke of this lane, we already mentioned in draft, but it has started off so well where there's already about a 10 CS lead.
Yeah, and it's probably going to get worse. No summoners on either LP or Hung. And as you saw, Tarzan pathed from bot to top, so there is going to be no pressure layered into this bottom side. And on the opposite end, Leon is even here on the bottom side of the map as well. I'm sure he's going to be able to clear this wave, as Scout is going to be a bit of a nuisance and just defend it.
What a bro.
Probably his own ward. I don't know if it's really a bro moment. He's just defending his own vision. But
yeah, dude,
what he has done, he's bought enough time for Tarzan to get down here.
True. I mean, he's going in with a flash as well. And remember, he's got phase rush, so chases there is Hex Flash from Hung, brings him in. Bolt Breaker to get out. Ignite down as well. Straight into Hung, but he's got his Zenith Blade waiting. He might die for first blood, but Leyan close to dying too. Scout from the enemy lane. He's come from behind. Assumes now next up. It's a 2 for 2 as spreading the plague. Scout is going to bring on in the damage to kill pressure. LP trying to survive, run away from Strive. Deadly Flourish ain't there, but Strive looking to live on. Flash is there. Scout's already burned his, and the LPL is just that kind of meat moment.
It really is. Everyone just decided to go, you know what, bottom side skull, 4v4? Yeah, let's fist fight. I'm down, bro. Let's go. And it kind of works out. Well, where did the kills end up? Well, we'll talk about where the kills went after the replay. I know 2 of them went towards Scout, so that's going to feel very, very good for the mid lane matchup in particular. But yeah, Tarzan goes in quite far ahead of the rest of his team, has Hung over the wall with the Hex Flash, who sacrifices himself for Scout to come in and pick up the kill on Leon, so that's not too bad at all. Tarzan goes back in, blows the cleanse there of Sssum, and he drops over to LP, and Strive does his best to get all the damage out, does just about escape being rooted there by LP. If he gets rooted or the 4th shot goes off, you have to imagine that Strive probably just dies to Scout's damage. All attacks, red buff as well was ticking. So 3 for 3 overall. Not too bad, I guess, for both sides, but 2 kills going up to Scout is definitely something Aria now going to have to be very, very concerned about.
I was going to say to you that, you know, the 2 kills enables that Catalyst of Aeons close to the Rod of Ages, but also Strive getting a kill and getting out maybe not too bad, considering he's going to be down in this lane anyway. Now, Scout starting to move around pre-6 and Jamada. Tarzan's down here as well. It looks like they're planning to mitigate the fact of this bottom lane, or at least set up for an early dragon as they start it yet again.
I mean, honestly, I think Aria not getting first dragon would be kind of illegal, given how the bottom lane matchup has been going, but skirmishing power definitely, you know, leans in the favor of LNG in terms of the champions themselves, if they're already, you know, set up and ready for the fight. So R8 just kind of have to give it up the mid lane priority, not really in their favor. Bottom side as well was Crash. So it's just good setup from LNG overall. They'll pick up that first dragon. We'll see if, unlike in game 1 where RA picked up that first dragon, LNG are looking to play towards it. They can get themselves an early soul and try and put RA on that kind of timer. We would hope that RA would try to put LNG on when they were the ones piloting the Kassadin.
20 CS and the difference in that mid lane. Time being, we look towards top lane, and Cube doesn't get stunned up, and a movable object, it seems, is all out being held by Cube, but the mana bar ain't there. Jamada, just a side note, I was talking to Rusty about a couple of weeks ago, and he just reminded me, or at least pointed out, you know, it doesn't matter, with all out, with the Ksante ulti, you use it and you have a new mana bar. Like, you start from the top of your mana that slowly decreases over the course of the ultimate. And so it doesn't matter if you have no mana when you press all out.
You just have to have mana to cast it. Yeah.
That's right. And then you literally have a full mana bar to then use your abilities about 1 billion times.
Hey, Riot, I don't know how often you listen to the English broadcast, but if you want to nerf Ksante in a viable way... and fix Jhin W. Yeah, look no further than that, because... Yeah, the mana refresh is quite... quite obnoxious. Yeah, I never really thought about that, and I've played so much Ksante as well. We've seen so much as well in Europe.
Crazy, yeah.
LPL, of course. Yeah, the fact that he gets that mana refresh is kind of nuts. But yeah, sorry.
So I've even saved the image because I was like, oh, Rusty, you genius. Shout out, of course, Bruce. Why are we doing this? LPL, stop it! What the hell? We all miss cannons, bro.
Really, really based from LPL service, in my opinion.
Dude, that's not even close. Wait, just quickly. Kassadin restores 100% max mana, which rapidly decays over the duration. His mana percentage prior to all out is preserved and gained back when the effect ends. Right? That's nuts. That's absolutely nuts. Just a little bit of I don't think it was actually in the main context of the ulti. It's like you go to LoL fandom and you go to the, you know, the layer.
You actually have to go. Yeah, you actually have to go into like websites that provide additional context to how the ability works.
Oh god. Hey, just a quick touch up back to the game. I've just noticed Sssum started to walk up to this Herald. Like, RA really want this.
Will they get it though? I mean, Leon's on it. They've got to get through the choke, and they will. And now maybe Hong's actually a trial. Ooh, okay.
Yeah, by himself. I mean, at least they get a 3-man maokai ulti as now the range from Jhin comes in. Zika with the flash in as well as the baller, but he gets taken all out. And that's just so unlucky. He doesn't even follow Cube, has to flash over. But now for the Ksante, he's done his dirty work and he's gotten out. The Strive is rooted down. Deadly Flush, perfect from LP. Burns his flash with the Bramble Smash. Tarzan! Oh, what the hell was that? He's going to run out for his life as LP flashes as well. Now in a choke. Now in a sandwich press. Cube trying to survive. But dude, this game is about as messy as my hair waking up from bed. As Rift Herald is still standing, just wondering, what the hell did I witness?
Yeah, I think both teams are kind of scratching their heads there. I think RA at Hong and what the hell he was doing to kick that one off, and then LNG watching the fight continue despite being in such a massive lead, yet Hong's just so far ahead of the rest of his team. But that's kind of what I was talking about with the LNG composition. You have a lot of sort of like ranged engage between Jhin, Kernpool, and then of course Tarzan with the ultimate, roots up 3 people. This is one of the longer ultimates I think I've seen in pro play, and like you say, really awkward placement for the all-out to actually put Cube over the wall, forcing him to flash, just to get the reposition to actually secure the kill. Never seen that one happen before. Really, really peculiar interaction, just thin wall, I guess. And you can see on the top side of the fight, they just can't lock down LP or Tarzan with any of their CC, RA. They're able to just kite it out. LNG, like you say, the dirty work done by Cube, but LNG, I feel like they're going to be pretty happy dancing in the mud in that team fight and walking away with the Herald.
Yep. Yeah, 5-all, by the way. Herald, you mentioned, another kill for Scout's Ryze. But Strive just didn't die again somehow. And he's now got a second kill. So again, Kassadin win condition always on board. I'm curious around the second Dragon, Jamada. I want to ask you a little bit about how this is going to play out though, because with the yakety stacks we've seen with the, you know, Eagle Rock Pants Down kind of play that's been going on, what does it look like here for a team like LNG who've been pretty pretty on point, prioritizing these objectives rather?
Yeah, I feel like they should be pretty aggressively looking to take the second Dragon. They've got the Herald as well if they need an additional facet of pressure anywhere. Like if you decided to just drop it in the mid lane right now, I think it wouldn't be too bad an idea, but Tarzan just wants to hold on for it. I feel like they kind of recognize they have a lot of power, and you can actually take a look at the minimap. You see Southwind resetting right now. I think also Sssum is by his side resetting. So RA, they're just yielding. They don't want anything to do with this. And, you know, there's no cross map going on the top side right now. So as I say it, Leon has gone over the wall with the Blast Cone, and they will look to try and make this dive happen. But it's a Renekton with basically full HP and an ultimate.
Well, Leyan having an ult is going to help out. The Vault Breaker waiting up as Zika presses Q. And they just say, no, forget that play. Zika is not scared in the slightest. And that's Dragon for, I'd say, absolutely nothing.
Yeah, pretty much. Absolutely nothing. Zika kind of just giggles in their face as they consider that dive. I think it would have been very, very audacious. A lot of HP just kind of stored in that ult. So really, really nice of LNG to get this dragon for free. And now they can just start to pressure this side of the map. Scout's already got first move down here. You can see how much respect Sssum and Southwind are paying. Scout just going to play, you know, kind of annoyance. Ensure that the rotations are really slow and allow LP to just get, I think, probably just that one plate for now. But still, the pressure felt by RA from LNG's advances.
I love it. Scout and protecting his wards this game has just been so aggressive. As Hung looking for an engage off the tri-brush. Leyan is spotted out. Coming around the corner. Is that control ward again? Seems to be a bit of a bait with Scout ready to use the Realm Warp. But meanwhile, he just moves back to mid, sets up the shove, and Herald's going to come down here from Tarzan as well, with Hung moving just in case to get maximum value.
Exactly. And this will be just about 2 plates. Yeah, there you go. And this time Scout does get the gold, unlike game number 1.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. And Southwind, would he like to die today? No, you know what? They want to kill Sssum instead. There's Chains of Corruption while camera has to pan out to about 3,000. Sssum locked in. Here's the curtain call. Hung's dead in the meanwhile. The cameraman's confused. He's like, dude, where do I look? On to Southwind now, who's about to meet with Ent number 2. Tarzan gets a freebie, and it's a 2-for-1 sale in the end. But it's a sale that ends up benefiting LNG.
Observer's nightmare, man. Having to scroll down whilst also trying to pan in to get both the team fights in, or both the skirmishes going. But really nice rotation from LNG, and again, it's just Scout having first move, and of course being able to cheat so much time with the Realm Warp, bringing down his accomplice to the dive and Hung, and get both those kills. And this time, despite, you know, the early pressure that was definitely felt from Southwind and Sssum having that double ranged advantage, it's not really, you know, provided any major yield on the rest of the map for RA. And LNG, it feels like just have, you know, a wide control of the map at the moment as replay comes in. Real nice setup. Chains of Corruption only really slows down Scout. Hung able to walk past it. Of course, a lot of damage is returned. So Hung, you know, doing his fair share of fun deaths. But I think still sacrificing himself to get that kill, still very much worth it. And they get 2 kills for themselves as, Southwind ended up getting run down to the opposite side of the map.
Fine. We look back, and once again, Scout picked up a kill in the play. So 4-0 Ryze, ready to set up a second MVP in game number 2 if it's a win. But now with this dive, let's see if he can outplay. He's got Flash available, but he's locked up against the wall. And here's his brother maokai. Flash burned out immediately because they're like, oh no, has science gone too far? Well, there's a walking tree running directly at you. You know the answer's yes. Slow down with the sapling and the nature's grass to fly through. Solar flare as well. It's roots for days. If Riot Games wanted you to move, then you'd move. But obviously they don't, as LNG pick up another.
Yeah. Nature is angry. Hysterics.
Oh,
Tarzan. He's not letting Ari get away with any of this nonsense, and Scout 3v1 in the dive manages to walk out. Phase rush plus the flash. Enough mobility to escape. He won't take this tower, funnily enough. Does get the teleport out from Strive either way, so happy about that one. I imagine he should have his Archangels finished up. He's got a lot of component items there. There you go. 2 items now on deck for the Ryze. Very yummy indeed. And now, if he can just about manage to get that stacked in the next 90 seconds or so, he's going to be so powerful at this next dragon. I feel like RA, it's one of those unfortunate scenarios where you kind of have to give this dragon, but also you would really like to somehow sneak it away just to buy yourself those extra 5 minutes. Because, frankly, I think if we get to a soul point scenario where, you know, let's say in 7 minutes time the dragon spawns up and LNG do take this next one, I don't think they're going to be ready. Plain and simple. I think they're still going to be searching for golden items, whereas right now LNG are very, very happy where they are with Scout having so many kills and the rest of the team not really needing items to function so heavily. that they need to rely on them, to be entirely honest with you. I think
dude,
once the mythics come in, they're really happy.
It's a Jhin, it's a Crocodile, it's a Renekton, right? Like Gore Drinker, you talked about him being a Milchio, it was a Scout. Might be caught out, but having said that, guess who's waiting by his side? Brother Hung is there. Chanacross Sour going to fly through, and Scout can't move for the time being. Onto Leyan, under turret, Solar Flare! It gets Scout a kill! Hung a Chad again. He might die a lot, but he definitely deserves respect.
Yeah, definitely does. Able to help LNG and Scout trade out 1-for-1. Still a very nice and creative pick from RA, using both the Vial and the Ashe in combination to lock down this Ryze, because frankly, he needs to be locked down. Otherwise, he's just going to be too damn annoying to deal with. And it just about gives, you know, some time to RA maybe to sort of weasel their way into the river if they had a little bit more of a better positioning. But with Leon dead, feels like they just don't have enough of the resources, and specifically that really key role called the jungler to actually be there to smite the objective. So LNG get this third dragon likely in this replay as we look at it, and just a ward over the wall from earlier on, and Scout gets engaged upon, and it's the Vial into the Ashe ult from downtown, which just locks Scout down for so long. He isn't able to answer out with so much damage, but chain CC from Hung is so good, and Scout, it's just enough time to get him that one overload Q out. And you can already see he's dealing, what was that, 5-5-6 to minions? With those 5-5-7. There you go.
7.
He's maths is never my strong suit.
He did get like 3 mana from clearing the minions, so I think that upped his damage.
That's probably why.
You're okay, man.
Yeah, thank you. Always feel so embarrassed when I get number things wrong, you know? But hey, Scout, very, very powerful. We've been joking and prodding about it, but once he gets that upgraded Archangels, he's well, he's already a menace. I'm not sure what the upgrade to that is. That's an Ashe that goes wide.
Nature's Grasp. Hang on, they're in a choke. There's a Jhin. Remember, you just press curtain call and things start happening. They choose not to press it for the time being as Strive gets out of there. Level 11 Kassadin. By the way, worth mentioning that the Rift Limp is going to be moving a little bit faster now. But, you know, further to your point, yeah, Scout is mentally huge. And adding on top of the gold he just got for the turret, LNG can play towards their mid laner once again. They're even setting him up with this inner turret with Herald that should be able to take this turret down, with Strive not willing to step up. Yep,
and Hung just says, you know what, Strive, you're a little bit too far up, even where you are. Just forces him to step back. That's the tier 2 picked up. Woo! Scout, again,
Look
just
at
gets
Southwind.
even more gold.
Look at the splash. Southwind took an EQ.
Huh. Yeah. Seems about Ryze, to be honest. So, yeah, thank you. I'm here all week, most weeks.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, it's good. Okay, cool.
It's going to turn into it. That splash damage, I think, just helped kill Southwind. Well, Baron's not up, but with that gold, it's a nice little back here for LNG if they so choose. The pick potential started off here, Jamada. Like you said, with Chains of Corruption, now danger. LP Gale Force sideways. Solar Flare's going to follow through. Twisted advance. They're going to kill Sssum, but LP is left to the wayside. And now suddenly it's a team fight. Zika's TP'd in to play it down and dirty, while Scout is chasing down a manaless Vi. Look at the sapling as well. It's slowed down Strive, but he has a Rift walk away. There's Nature's Grasp yet again, and it's out of range. So LNG will walk away losing their AD carry, but it just turned into a fight out of nowhere.
It did. I don't feel like that fight's going to have a major sway on the next couple of minutes, but I mean, important to note, Strive lost his flash, Sssum lost both of his summoner spells, and so did LP, so maybe that weighs into a Soul Dragon fight if it happens. This Gale Force was interesting from LP. Yeah, good drift. Good little bit of Tokyo drift, but does manage to kite away long enough to buy some time for LNG to, at the very least, try and answer out on it. But in the end, it only ends up being, I think, 1-for-1, maybe 2-for-1 at the top of the page. So LNG don't really care too much about it because they are still in the driver's seat of this game. RA, frankly, I mean, sure, they've got Sssum on 2 items, but it just feels like they've never really been able to set up correctly for him, where it's just, you know, front to back, and you just let this lethal tempo plus the Gwinsu's kind of just let rip. LNG have kind of been approaching at different angles, right? Realm Warp has been something that RA have had to consistently deal with, and they've not been able to deal with it too well because Scout's placements on them have been so strong. And of course, once Scout is kind of in front of you, this game so far, you've just had to turn around because he's dealing 500, 600 damage to you a pop. So much damage available.
Oh,
they can
Cube.
pick on Han, or maybe they can pick on Cube.
Cube!
Okay.
Cube! Oh, Cube! He just like, man, I'm fine, I'm Ksante, but you cannot in this game. As you walk up to a blind choke, you pretty much hand the game on a silver platter. The member I highlight the most in Rare Adam has just walked up and face pumped.
Indeed, he has HYsterics. And LNG, let's go towards the Baron. Nothing else for them to do right now. That Soul spawns up in 35 seconds. Now, this is where the clownery starts, because okay, they've got the blue ward on them.
Right.
Will Leon
EDG RNG.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, but look, there's no steal coming through. I think EDG RNG, folks.
yeah.
Put your hands together.
We might be on the way to that third series of the day quite quickly at this rate. LNG, full-blown driver's seat. Yeah, Cube just, I don't know, I think just Ksante syndrome. I'm Ksante, I don't die.
There. No one's there. Invisible. You're like, there's no vision there.
There's no vision, and crucially, he's just not really in range to be backed up by anyone. It's a strange one. It's a strange one, and that Nature's Grasp just does a lot of work to lock everyone else down. As the rest of LNG show up, and as we come out of the replay.
Oh, don't move. Don't move. Stay right there. Southwind. Oh, yeah. Hold that position. Oh,
So,
God. Moving's overrated.
In his death recap, how much time do you think he spent CC?
I reckon, how long did he take to die? About 4.5
4
seconds. Probably spent
Yeah,
4
4.5.
seconds CC.
That's tough. That's really tough. But that's 2 picks to the good of LNG. And I think now it's just going to be an easy soul pickup. Oh, look at that. Scout is also the jungler. He's that fed.
Dude, he is.
Whilst over here, hello, Zika. Over the wall.
All out.
All out.
Never mind. Okay. Tom Cruise movie in action right there from Cube. Nicely done.
And dude, he got like combo, because that was like all out, and then Leyan decided to like follow him over the wall as well, so he like got dragged over the wall by the Ksante element. That was like a straight up like Tekken tag team combo, bro. They just didn't let him breathe. But you know, LNG still pick up the soul, and Scout is still awfully powerful. He does get hit by that Ashe arrow though. However,
But meanwhile, Southwind's dead
just
for it,
dies.
and
Yep.
yeah, we come off screen, and he gets hit by 2 abilities. Assume he's going to get hit. Meanwhile, the cameraman's like, look at bot lane again. Scout was CC for a while, but no one wanted to go near him. Junglers are going to kill each other, even from long distance. And guys, with 30 kills on the board, LNG having the majority here, 2/3. And Scout having 10 kills, by the way. With a Void Staff now, that TP spells doom. Assume, run away. He has Flash, he's about to have Realm Warp, and with LP deciding this time to drift in, he's going to pick up yet another kill. LNG want to end it here, Jamada.
Yep, and I think they're going to. 3 members dead, death timers long enough to definitely take at the very least Nexus Towers. I think LNG, they're quite simply done with this series. HYsterics, I think they want an early night. I think RA
Dude.
as well.
I think that bottom lane just wants to get out at this point. 14 deaths combined as to what was a great early lane start. And LNG looking to keep themselves undefeated here in the LPLs. They turn on the man they want to kill so badly, but Scout flashes out, and now look at this AoE! Ksante may be busted, but I think Scout is even more so just as an individual. Southwind getting zoned away, LNG still strong 3-man. Assume might come here, but Scout is still hitting with the Realm Warp. 11 kills now on the Madman. They can't end in the end, Jamada. But I tell you what, they're doing it with style with the rest of this game.
They really are. And even if, to be honest with you, and you always kind of forget about it because sometimes it gets bursted through so quickly, even if you drop Scout low enough, you've still got the lifeline shield to deal with.
Oh, yeah.
It's just like, it's so, you know, because this game is probably over, right? I'm just gonna
Say it.
free for all.
Say what I know you're going to say.
Why does Archangels have lifeline shield on them?
Yes!
It's so weird. It's so
Why?
weird. And can I get any agreeers or what? Like, it just doesn't need to be there, does it?
Huge
Like,
nodders. Yeah.
all of these champions that go Archangels and normally go Roa with it, by the way, it's like you get, what, 600, 700 extra HP in your build? Not to mention a lot of mage items just kind of randomly give health at times too anyway. Like, why? Anyway, I think LNG
No, you're right.
are back to the pace they were at about
Yep.
90 seconds ago.
Hey, get a final kill. Cube trying to dodge away. Dude, look at Neo. You can see the Matrix. Leyan must be Morpheus because that's strong protection as LNG have zoned out yet again, and they've got another turret to do as TP's going to come in. I think that was Cube trying to get away, and Scout just said, no? Yeah. How did Scout get that kill? Were they? Hang on. LNG super minions killed Cube. And Scout got the kill. Oh, this game of antics just won't end, will it? Yeah, throw him out. Scout even at the Nexus. Auto attack. Massive high Strive now going to get hit with it as well. As Scout, you all know he's getting MVP a second time. A beautiful showing from LNG. An undefeated LNG who walk onto the Nexus, get him the final kill, and give LNG a 3-0 start as they move to the top of the standings at the end of week 3.
LNG, second game, a little less faffing about than that game number 1. And a lot more clinical in just dismantling RA, to be honest with you. No real leg to stand on. I think RA had a couple of decent conditions, right? Bottom lane matchup, pretty solid in the early stages, but I just felt like they didn't end up playing through anywhere. And they were realistically stuck in a similar hole to LNG where they were waiting for the Kassadin to scale up, except this time Strive wasn't in anywhere near as good a position as Scout was in game number 1. And LNG just take full advantage. They just kind of say, you know what, let's just pull the trigger every single time that we feel like we see an angle for it. And I wouldn't really say over-aggression unless it was Hong, pays off, and pays off heavy dividends between LP and Tarzan. I think that range engage should just set up for